everyone, I am Nixie and welcome to Panels and Page Turners. So today we are getting into our first manga haul of the channel, and like I said in my introduction video, I am going to be breaking these first lot of manga hauls into sort of like categories and demographics. So we're going to be starting off with our like shonen, our action sort of manga and series. So we're going to be breaking this down in publisher, so we'll go publisher by publisher. This is things that I have collected sort of this year so far, so the past 4 months ish. So there are like new titles and then things that are a little bit older now, but let's go ahead. Let's start off with some random volumes that we picked up from some random publishers. So the first one is Centaurs Volume 3. So this is by the same creator as Our Torso's Line and MADK, if you know that one. I love this creator's work because they do a lot of like mythical human like creatures together, and the artwork is so beautiful. Definitely one of my like more favorite art styles because it is very distinctive as well. So yeah, very distinctive, like you can see sort of like, especially like in the eyes as well, like very distinct of this creator. But yeah, I'm very excited to read this one. I still need to catch up with it, and I believe that there are more volumes that have released since. So that one is from Ablaze Manga. Next we have Alien Books, which is a newer publisher, and you're gonna realize, guys, that I butcher a lot of names of series, so I apologize in advance. But Kerberos in the Silver Rain. I also tend to pick up things on a whim because of like pretty covers. I'm very sucked in through like cover art and stuff, and this one was like absolutely no different. So I picked up this. I believe it's only 3 volumes. Next we have from Square Enix, we have Tokyo Aliens. This is volume 7. Really good Alien series. I've been enjoying it so far very much. I believe that the next volume is out really soon, but yeah, I've really been enjoying this series. Then we have from Dark Horse, we have Drifters Volume 1. Finally, this got delayed quite a while. Like it was supposed to have released like last year, sort of towards the end, like I think it was even Q3 that this was supposed to have released. I'm very excited to get into this. However, my only issue is I'm kind of not a fan of this like size that they chose to print an omnibus. I would have liked it to have been like a larger print size, with it being like such a thick volume, but that's obviously just personal preference. But like there is quite a bit of give, so I don't feel like I'm gonna break the spine, which is a pet peeve of mine. I don't feel like I'm gonna break the spine while reading this, so like I guess all is forgiven. So those are just like the random volumes that I picked up from a few different random publishers. So next we'll move on to 7 Seas. So the first one we have is Black Knight Parade. We have volume 4 and volume 5. How nice is this cover, by the way? So this is a Christmas themed manga, so really intriguing story. I've been really enjoying this one so far. I've yet to read these 2, but yeah, this is a very interesting, like I say, Christmas manga. You don't get a lot of like manga that is themed specifically and solely around Christmas, and there's not one that I can think of off the top of my head where the entire story is Christmas. But yeah, a very interesting read so far, about Santa Claus and his disappearance. So actually I don't know why I had in my head that we had more from 7 Seas, but those are the only 2 that I've got from 7 Seas, which usually I have a lot more from 7 Seas. So that was 7 Seas. Let's move on to Kodansha. Nice big stack from Kodansha. We have one of my absolute favorite ongoing series at the minute. We have Origin. So we have Origin volume 7 and volume 8. I love this cover as well. This, I will say that I have read this because, like I say, it's one of my favorite ones. This volume broke my heart, I'm not gonna lie, guys, so be warned going into this, but I love this series so much. So this is from the artist who did Dr. Stone. He has a very distinct art style, I would say. It's very pretty, guys. Very distinct art style. I love this. There's a bit of like fan service sometimes in his like drawing. I will say, like a few shots that aren't for the faint of heart. But yeah, I love this series so much. So this is like a world where they are developing AI and like robots, androids, and things are going a little bit wrong. But yeah, I love this series. I'm gonna do a video of like my current favorite like ongoing series, so this one will be in it, and obviously I'll talk more about it in there if you want to know more. Next we have one that I'm absolutely gonna butcher the name of. I don't know how to say Gagachagita. Guys, I don't know how to say it. Guta. This one. We have volume 3, there are volume 4, and I believe volume 5 is also out as well, with volume 6 getting ready to release. So these ones are coming out quite quickly. This is a very interesting story as well, sort of something a little bit different about a guy who's been framed for a crime, and he basically gets thrown into a pit. But it turns out that there's a whole civilization down in this pit. There is also the anime that's going to be coming out in July, I believe it is, which I'm really excited for. The trailer looks good. But yeah, this is definitely a series to sort of like look out for, and definitely to check out. Something, like I say, a little bit different. Then we have a complete random purchase from me, again sucked in by artwork and covers. We have Tank Chair Volume 1 and Volume 2. Volume 3 is also out, so I just need to go pick that up, but I really like these covers. And it's such a random like story. I've not heard like many people talking about this one at all, but this is about an assassin. This is about an assassin who got into an accident and is basically in a coma, and the only way that he sort of comes back around is if he senses killing intent towards him. So his sister basically uses that to her advantage to bring him back round, and she's trying to find a cure by basically shoving him in to the most dangerous like villains that she can find. Very like over the top story. It's very over the top, but it's a great bit of action, and it is quite comedic as well. And then next we have volume 6 of Tsugumi Project. This again was one where I picked it up because of the cover art. Really sort of like drew me in. And this has been more of like a serious title, but I've still enjoyed this a lot. I believe it's only like 8 volumes, 7 or 8 volumes, so we're almost wrapped up now with this one. So this is about someone who is being punished for a crime. He basically gets told that he has to go and find a bioweapon in this abandoned island just off of Japan, where there's apparently no civilization, but he certainly comes across a few folk. But yeah, I really enjoy this series. I'm excited to see sort of like how it wraps up. Like I say, it takes on some more like serious tones in a series, and it definitely has its like sad moments, but very much enjoying that one as well. And then moving on to our final publisher, we are moving on to Viz Media. So first off, we have Kaiju number 8, volume 1. This is the alternative cover that they released, Barnes & Noble, I think, exclusive. And then we have this fellow on the back. So yeah, so this is the volume 1 cover. I already have volume 1, but I really liked this, and It's such a shame, and it kind of like bugs me a little bit that it's so hard to get these like cover variants, like being obviously in the UK and this being like an American exclusive. But thankfully my friend in Canada, she was able to send this, so I'm very, very happy and thankful for that. And speaking of kaiju number 8, we have volume 11 as well. This is also one of my favorite ongoing series. I love the action in this, I love the comedy, I love how all the characters that are in it, they have their own like big personality, but it's not like overwhelming. And I like how they all are so like different but work well like together, and the comedy in this series is just chef's kiss. So yeah, this is one of those like series where as soon as it like hits my doorstep, like I have to read the volumes. So volume 12 is also out, so I need to pick that up as well. This is another one that I'm gonna butcher. This is Gokuraku Gai. I know guys, I'm butchering it, and there's another one that I'm going to butcher in a sec as well. So this is volume 2. I really enjoyed the first volume, so I've got the second one to read, and again volume 3 is out, so I need to pick that up as well. And then we have this one that I'm going to butcher, Kagurabachi volume 1. So this is a samurai story, but with like a bit of a fantasy twist to it, which was quite interesting actually. I quite enjoyed that. We didn't get a lot of information about like the main character that's in this, but I've heard in the second volume it sort of like builds up on like this character and who he actually is, so I'm excited to sort of like see who he is and get a bit more of his backstory as well, so I can get like really invested in this series. But the first volume was still really enjoyable, and I liked the twist of it's not just a samurai story, there's a bit of a like fantasy twist on it as well. And then we have After God volume 1. I need to pick up the second volume of this one, but this was just like a spontaneous like pickup thanks to the cover art. I'm such a sucker for cover art, guys. And then we have in my opinion a underrated series. We have Full Night volume 2 and volume 3. 3 comes after 2, right? Yeah, volume 3. So there's like a trend that we're seeing becoming more popular, where you know we have the kaijus and monsters and everything like that, but we're also now getting this sort of like human slash plant hybrid sort of storyline coming through, which actually I'm really enjoying. If you guys haven't seen it, there's one on the Shonen Jump app called Wild Strawberry, which is also like human plant hybrid kind of situation. That is really good, so definitely check that out. I'm waiting for that to be announced in a physical license from Viz, so I'm hoping that it's going to happen soon. But yeah, anyway, Full Night is one of those human plant hybrid situations, but I feel like that this is a twist further still on that sort of like genre, where people can opt to have a medical procedure which will eventually turn them into a plant. And this is in a world where like all vegetation and flora have basically died off because there is no sun. So this follows a guy who has opted to have that procedure. Very sad, some of the stories that are in this, so it's like a bit more of a heavy read. But yeah, I don't see people like talking about this, and it is a really good series. I highly recommend it if you are sort of into that sort of like a plant hybrid storyline that we're seeing becoming more popular. And then next we have Snowball Earth. This is volume 2. I believe volume 3 is also out. I'm a little bit behind, guys. So yeah, I really enjoyed the first one of this. So it's a guy who basically has a big mech as a partner. He was basically off Earth. He comes back to find that there's a like ice age happening. But yeah, really enjoyable like first volume, so glad that I've got the second one. I need to pick up the third one. Next we have another dark series. We have Boys Abyss volume 6 and 7. So like I say, this is a heavy series. This is quite a traumatic series. I really love this cover, by the way. This is a like really sort of like traumatic series, and it does involve like grooming, because it follows basically a high school boy, and he gets sort of like has to deal with like predator behavior and stuff. So that's just like a little bit of a trigger warning for people who are looking at this series. It's sort of like got quite a few trigger warnings, like suicide trigger warnings, that sort of thing as well. So I wouldn't recommend it to everyone, but if you are looking for a more like a dramatic thriller type series, then it is really good. But like I said, it's just very dark. Okay guys, that is everything I picked up, sort of shonen, seinen, action type mangas that I picked up so far this year. Next up, we are going to do our shoujo josie manga haul as well, so look forward to that one. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Really appreciate it, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye everyone.